everybody, Melissa Sorrentino here. Want to check in about my divorce diary. I had some thoughts. Just kind of spending more and more time being a single person. I am finding that I'm kind of a loner. I didn't know what I'd be like as a single person at my age. I haven't been single for, 2 decades. So I am definitely a person that goes shopping by myself. I do things by myself. I grab coffee. I enjoy that. I chat up people around me a little bit, which feels kind of nice. But, Ben and I used to do that all the time as a couple anyway. We'd be like chatting up the baristas and, everybody and whatever. So anyway, that's just kind of like that's not changed. But I just have, I have an experience that I'll share with you guys. And I'm always hesitant. I mean, this is what I'm doing. I'm putting these things out there and, they are based on real stories or, the catalyst for an idea is something that I'm experiencing or going through. And that's reasonable because it's like, just like if you're in an improv show, you're very likely, you might pull some stuff from your day because that's where your head's at, or even just that's where your inspiration lies. That's where I get inspiration, is from real life. So I know when I have an experience, immediately I go, you know what? I know I'm not the only person that has this experience. And, maybe you're going through that today, or maybe you're going through that a year from today, but yet that's still the day that you're watching this video. So in that vein, I recently sent a message to somebody. Well, actually, no, I didn't, it was not recent that I sent them a message. It was actually in like July. It's right now, it's April of the following year. So I sent something via Messenger, and it was about mourning the loss of my mother. And I had sent it to a friend back in July. Now, you message back and forth, and at one point, one person doesn't message back and there's a lapse. But, I was replying probably to hers, and I just assumed she read it. But she just chimed in just now, and she's like, I don't know how I ever didn't miss this, like how I missed this particular message on here. But I want you to know that it totally applied to today. And I replied something in the event like, God is good or something, or it's God's timing, or, whatever, Spirit's timing or whatever. But it was something to the effect where I was like, I'm glad that the timing, was like out of my hands and that it helped you today. And she's like, yeah. So anyway, timing is something that's such a huge variable that affects everything, and yet we sort of dismiss it because as much as I sort of like, in my coach capacity, even here on this channel and with the improv stuff, I talk about getting in the moment and the importance of being in the now and but there is actually a way in our lives where we are maybe too much caught up in the tunnel vision of our own point of view. So when I'm talking about getting in the now, I don't just mean getting in your own head of now. I mean getting an awareness of now and, like of the larger picture of things. So anyway, it's just kind of something that's been crossing my mind a bit lately, that when I see people, I'm just seeing a snapshot of their lives and vice versa. And that doesn't really mean that you know much more than you know. And it certainly really has nothing to do with me. But I have encountered recently some like social media that is showing that someone that I dated briefly has met someone, and I have like a gut feeling that they might be like the ones for each other. You never know. I mean, but it seems to be going very well. And we dated briefly, and we were both kind of talking about it, and it was going well, but not necessarily like ideal for either of us, even though it was going just fine and we liked each other, and we've still been friends and very friendly. And I'm actually very happy for, not only for him, for this guy, but for the girl that he's with. They just both look genuinely happy. And I'm like, that's awesome. I hope that for them, this is the long term, and maybe, you know, maybe the last person they're going to date and they're going to end up together. I think that would be lovely. But it occurs to me that, you know, of course, it would be difficult for me to go through too much of my life being single. I'm not used to it and I don't prefer it. I'm okay with it, but I don't prefer it. So, you know, like I was realizing if I have a pang of jealousy when I see other people, like, you know, having what I don't have, two people holding hands, you know, in a store, people driving together in their cars, and I'm always by myself in my car, you know, people on social media that have found a new person, or even just, you know, their married lives that are being demonstrated in like photos and stuff like that. I watch that, and oftentimes it will have like a couple different effects, and it's pretty much three, you know, like a past, present, future effect. In the present, I feel mournful that I don't have that right now. I don't even have anybody that I would feel comfortable just picking up a phone and saying, like, you know, come over. I'm not in that place with anybody where it's of even that level, let alone somebody that I'm like married to, that like I woke up with this morning and I'm gonna go to bed next to tonight. I don't have that. So there's the present mourning. But then there's the future pang that goes, oh, I hope I have that again. I hope I have that someday. And then there's the past that I did. And that's when suddenly everything comes into perspective. And I realize, you know, life is ever moving. And these two people, for example, that I'm just pulling from thin air from the world of examples around me, they're on social media. They're enjoying each other's company. They're enjoying that phase where they're posting a lot of pictures of themselves together. They both, well, at least the guy, he's been single a long time. And it's his turn to show these pictures and instead of look at other people's pictures. And maybe it's my turn to have to look at other people's pictures. I had a turn when I was showing them. And it occurs to me now, God, I hope people didn't look at our pictures and it made them sad. That's a perspective I never had. And I never realized, you know, there I was posting all these selfies of me and my good looking husband and doing this and doing that and being here and being there. And to think that somebody else was feeling sad looking at those, that's, you know, it touches my heart. So, and then I remember when I'm looking at those people's, you know, I'm like, cut to 10, 20 years later, they could be me doing videos like this. So, you know, none of us knows. But we don't have to go down every time there's, you know, a chapter that isn't our preference. And there might be some areas in my life where I'm up. Like, for example, I'm really thin right now. You know, all those times I was snapping pictures with Ben, I was kind of chubby. You know, it's just like, maybe just the stars don't all align at one time. They make different constellations, and the constellations move and shift, and there's discovery, and there's letting go. Okay, bye.